Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style is brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Listen, everybody, we got the hookup for you. Just go to dugoutmugs.online/craft for 10% off your entire order. That's it. No need to use a code. Just use that link and the 10% off will be added directly to your order. Drink from bats just like we do here on the show. Dugoutmugs.online/craft.
Cincinnati Style is also brought to you by More Labs. Drink one bottle of morning recovery while you're partying and bounce back quickly the next morning. Guaranteed. Go to morelabs.com and use the code SPORTS at checkout for 20% off your non-subscription purchase.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style. I am Mike. With me as always is Scott. Joe over there behind the computer. Joe, how you feeling tonight?
Good.
Oh, he switched it up. I'm shook. I am shook after that one.
What it do, baby?
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for bringing it back,
fill the void.
helping out, keeping the show normal. So thank you for that. This is Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style. Where our takes are just like the chili. You're only going to like them if you're from here. Scott, how you feeling today?
Feeling good. Feels great. I don't know. I can't really describe it. Feels good. Real good. I don't even go to every week. Feels good. Real good.
It is a great day. Xavier won today. So it's a great day, finally.
I was going to say, forgot what that feels like.
Yeah, we're hitting the stride, though. We're hitting that stride. We're going to talk Xavier. We're going to talk some UC. UC and them playing at Memphis with that god-awful court they got down there. We're also going to talk Joe Burrow's his food tour around Ohio. That's a thing, apparently. I don't know why. And listen, y'all, we're going to talk some Florence Freedom baseball. Excuse me, Florence Y'all baseball.
Oh, Jesus.
And that will before we get into that hockey talk where Scott is going to update us.
Break it all the way down for y'all.
In-depth analysis.
That you can't get anywhere else.
Statistics. Just that eye that only you get right here in Craft Brewed Sports Cincinnati Style. Really great show for you guys tonight. So let's just get right into it. Let's get this Joe Burrow thing out of the way. Okay. I want to get that done because it's so stupid to me. So let's talk a little Bengals real quick. Bengals kind of?
Kind of.
Bengals adjacent. So Joe Burrow is back in Ohio, and he's touring around the state, apparently, just eating food.
It's pretty cushy gig.
And everybody's covering it like it's the greatest thing that's ever happened. They're like, Joe Burrow was at B-Dubs in Mason this week. And somebody was like, no way. They were like, here's a picture of him in front of the B-Dubs in Mason. And it was just him in front of a B. You have no idea which B-Dub. It was just him in front of a B-Dubs. They were like, that's all the proof I needed. There it is. Joe Burrow was in Mason. That's a big deal, apparently.
It would be funny if it was just a Photoshop picture. He was standing somewhere else. He's just in his football gear, and they're like, look, he's at B-Dubs and Mason.
He's holding up the trophy.
Yeah, I was like, that's clearly him. I know him anywhere. He's rocking full pads.
That's how you know football players. When
I
was a kid, I used to think that's how they had to go out, was wearing their gear, or else nobody would notice them. Like they had to wear shoulder pads and their jersey, or else people would be like, "Who? Who is that?"
You were a dumb kid.
I was a dumb kid. I was a real dumb kid.
I never even thought, how did they get recognized?
I was a real dumb kid, man. I was like, how do they know? They wear helmets. How do you even know what he looks like?
I have no idea. But you know what? I want to go watch the water show at the Bellagio.
Call back to the
Craft Brewed Sports regular show, baby. Go check that out. See exactly what I'm talking about with Mike and his water shows.
Joe Burrow also is at Jeff Ruby in Columbus. So he goes to Jeff Ruby's, which I did not realize Ruby's was in Columbus.
I was just going to say, when you said that, I'm like, since
you're giving
when
me that
was
look
Joe
like that's common knowledge?
They're all over the place.
I know.
I thought there was only the four in Cincinnati.
I knew there were the four in Cincinnati, although three now because the one
did one close?
No, it floated down the river and crashed.
That's right. That's right.
And then we got the beautiful image of Chris Collinsworth getting off the boat with his like really tiny life vest on, like just over his waterfront. That was that one.
I had no idea.
I
that
knew
there
the
was-
ones in
they were
Cincinnati. There was
outside of
downtown.
Cincinnati.
There was the one up in Mason, and then the precinct. I knew there was one in Louisville because that's the one that Jeff Ruby threw OJ out of and told OJ's date supposedly, "Hey, you're a pretty white girl too. You better watch out. He'll slit your throat." Supposedly. Also, Jeff Ruby blocked me on Twitter.
Blocked you?
Yeah.
For what?
He was on Sports of All Sorts one night. And
Say no more.
I was like, what is Jeff Ruby giving these sweet hot takes? I was like, this is garbage. Didn't he like not be a kicker in semi-pro football? And he blocked me.
That'll teach you.
Oh, so there you go. They're in Lexington. I didn't know that.
There's
Nashville.
one at Nashville?
Jeff Ruby Smashville. That's a good place to hang, right?
Sure.
But Joe Burrow was in Columbus, where Jeff Ruby has a Burrow steak. He named a steak after him. So Jeff Ruby did that, and then is donating $9 from every purchase to some charity as well, because Burrow wears number 9. Cool, man.
Nah, I get jokes.
I mean, what kind of profit margin you getting on these steaks that you can you can do?
Punt
It's a
off 19
16-ounce blackened prime ribeye with Creole crawfish sauce. Oh, that sounds terrible.
I'd eat it.
Joe Burrow would eat that, but he doesn't like Skyline. Give me a break.
Steak's a little different than.
The steak's fine. It's the Creole crawfish sauce that I
I
feel
mean,
like
but have you-
only
but-
Ed Orgeron would be on board with.
But have you ever had it though? Have you ever had Creole?
No, I
yeah.
also-
So you're
I'm
just
not-
yeah.
it's
okay,
just
so then
based
like,
on-
you're just knocking it.
Yeah, I'm just hating just because.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you probably taste mostly steak. It's probably not anything that, takes
Jeff Ruby
over.
steaks don't need anything else on them though.
Well, right, but that's
Those
what I'm
steaks are-
saying. Like whatever the sauce is, probably isn't much.
Well, I got engaged at the precinct, Ruby's. So I always hold a special place, and then I got blocked
I
on
was just
Twitter
gonna
by
say.
Jeff Ruby.
Sorry, this has
No, please
nothing
do.
to do, but it has everything to do with being blocked.
Jerry Rice?
This morning, I'm unblocked by Jerry.
It
I can't believe I didn't block. It worked. I can't believe I didn't bring that up on the regular show. The only reason I know, somebody liked one of his tweets, and I thought, how am I able to see Jerry Rice's tweets? Aren't I blocked? And I clicked it, and it took me to it, and I'm like, follow? And it didn't say, this user has blocked you. I am unblocked by Jerry.
All right, let's get Scott blocked again by Jerry. That's the new.
It's funny because I almost tweeted out, oh my God, I'm unblocked by Jerry. This is amazing. And I'm like, he probably blocked me off principle. I'm like, oh, you were blocked? That was an accident. Boom. So I just left it. But I was like, oh my God. I can't believe I found that out in the wee hours of this morning when I was at work. And nobody was awake when I found out, and I completely forgot about it. So I'm now.
That is amazing.
I am now following
That's
Jerry Rice.
amazing.
That
Well, good.
story is still legendary, though.
I am glad. Yes, it is the best reason to get blocked too. I'm very happy about that.
Initial findings have found that the steak is $62.
So no wonder you can give him $9 for it.
But still, like, I mean, you gotta have some big profit margin because Ruby is still making his money.
Well,
on
that's
that
what I'm
steak.
saying. I mean, it's a $62 steak, so $9. I mean, the cut of beef ain't worth that much.
Right.
So I mean, the profit margin is still insane.
Good research on that one, Joe. All right, so now I want to know, where is Joe Burrow going to eat next? He's eating at the Mason B-Dubs and Jeff Ruby's Columbus. Maybe PRCs? Does he go PRCs next? Have some gravy cheese fries?
Well, no, because
At
if he
3
doesn't
o'clock
like,
in the morning,
but if he
cash
doesn't-
only.
If he doesn't like Cincinnati style chili, then no.
But
So
you
it's
gotta have
gotta
some.
be-
You gotta have some gravy cheese fries.
Right, but I mean, let's go somewhere else. Like, what other Graders? Has he been spotted at Graders?
Not yet.
There you go. I mean, I'm just thinking of something else that's like.
But it's not
inherently
just Cincinnati either. He's. I mean, he went Columbus for that one. So
But
maybe
it's
he
still a
goes
Cincinnati
north. Do you think he
thing
goes
in
up to
Columbus?
Cleveland?
Columbus, do you think he stops at that the famous burger place on Ohio State campus?
Isn't that
McDonald's? I don't think so.
No.
They've sold billions of burgers, right? Is that the one we're talking about?
Isn't that one of their former players?
Eddie George? Is it Eddie?
No, Eddie George.
George?
That's in Tennessee. No, it's another one of their former players. The burger. I've been to the place. Thurman Thomas or
I think it's called Thurman's. I
Yeah,
think you're
and
right.
it's the Thurman burger. Like that's
Oh.
like the thing there, whatever. Which I've had it. It's actually really good. But yeah, I mean, I guess that could be a place he'd stop at.
Do you think he goes?
It's
to,
not McDonald's.
Do you think he goes to Toledo? Get some. What's
No.
that? What do you guys got out there in
Perch.
Toledo?
Nothing.
Perch.
No, you guys got something in Toledo, don't you?
Oh,
Perch and walleye.
the Tony Pacos.
Tony Pacos, yes.
I was thinking because I don't know if I've ever told you that we had that conversation about I never knew growing up, and then I found out after moving down here, and explained so much that Toledo is one of the test cities. So they're one of the cities that has like
Oh,
every
right,
single
for-
chain that you can possibly think
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
And anytime where it says, only at participating locations, Toledo gets all.
Yeah,
of
I
that
remember when
stuff
the
'cause
Doritos Locos Tacos
it
went
was
to
there
Toledo
first.
first, and I was
right,
furious.
Yeah. And so it's a test thing. So it would be funny if he was just like, yeah, I just came to Toledo because I figured they got something nobody else does up here. But it's just a bunch of fast food junk.
Joe just pulled up a story. This was posted 12 hours ago on CBS Sports that said the Dolphins reportedly covet Joe Burrow.
Which is funny because the Bengals just today said they don't plan to trade the number one overall pick.
it's happening! Give me that hole, baby! Oh, man. I can't wait. Zach Taylor, how do you feel about the perspective of having multiple Miami draft picks in exchange for the number one overall pick?
How do I feel? I can't even describe it. Good. Feel real good.
It never gets old.
Well done on the full use of that one too, Joe. All right. Well, so what if this is true? What do you take from the Dolphins? Because they're not going to give you all 3 first-round picks.
Oh, no. You take I'm guessing
The 5.
Well, I mean, obviously you swap.
Right.
You swap the 1 and the 5 so that
Maybe
that's a
their
1-1.
maybe their third
I was
first-round
going to say,
pick.
they give
and
you the
like
third and then they give you a future.
Let me just inform you. The Dolphins have the number 5. They also own the Steelers at the 18
Right.
spot,
Right, and then
and
like
the Texans
21st.
at the 26.
26. Okay,
Yeah.
so you give them you flip flop the
5,
first ones.
right. You give them the 5
1.
and 26, and
And
then
then you get, like,
second round?
Well, it
They
depends
have,
on.
they have 2 second rounders, and they also have 2 firsts in the 2021 draft.
I was gonna say that's where you tell them, hey, you can have the picks this year if you're more into this draft, or you can have one of the first rounders next year.
Do you moneyball it, or do you just go for the pick?
Oh man.
I think you got to go. Because here's the thing, it's quarterback.
Yeah.
It's the number 1 overall pick. It's like so. I mean, you take them. I would say you switch with them. You take one of those other 2 picks, whichever one they're more willing to give up. You get a pick in this year's draft, like one of those seconds, and you get an early pick next year. Like
I mean, Cincinnati holds all the cards.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
if you
But I'm saying,
really
like,
want it, it's like how much you want. Are you willing to go full Ditka for this kid?
Right.
Or are you gonna?
you make them blow you away, or you say we need them too, like because you're not in a position where you have a quarterback. This is
Because if losing this means you have to pick Joe Burrow, you're not losing anything. Like
Exactly.
you still got to pick Joe
that's
Burrow.
what I'm saying. Like you
Guys.
hold all the
Guys,
cards.
You remember how the Niners had the second pick in last year's draft and now they're in the Super Bowl? Guess what's about to happen to the Bengals?
They're going to be drafting top 5 again next year.
Probably, but they will have 2 first-round draft picks this year and then top 5 again next year. We are starting the rebuild. We're starting the rebuild.
I think what's even funnier, like to a certain degree, and it doesn't have anything to do with Cincinnati, is the fact that Washington is sitting there with that number 2 pick after taking Haskins last year, and they're staring Chase Young in the face. They're just going to draft Ohio State.
just
there in
gonna be- yeah,
Washington.
yeah.
They're just going to keep importing them.
Right.
Like it works there, it'll work here, right? Because that's how Daniel Snyder thinks. And I'm not even saying it would
Also,
be
can we get Ryan Day? Can we draft Ryan Day?
right. Like it would be a good pick for them. Like I honestly think Chase Young is the best player in this draft. But obviously,
I know
quarterbacks
you've
rule the
made
day,
that
But,
very apparent throughout all of our shows.
but I mean, I'm not saying that Joe Burrow's a bad pick, and it would be a good pick for the Bengals. I just think when you're talking about if you're ranking the players, I just think he's
give
a
me that
better
Miami
player.
Hall. I am so excited right now. About
I gotta
that.
tell you,
oh,
though,
I can't wait.
If I was a Bengals fan, I absolutely would want them to trade.
And then you got what? You could end up with Tua or the Oregon kid, Huerta, I think his name.
Or the cornerback from
you could take Jake Fromm.
From you could still get a quarterback at
See, I
the
wouldn't-
5, the 18, or the
Kick.
26.
You wouldn't take Fromm at 5 If you got that second pick, you could argue there like the 18 or whatever
Yeah.
that they have. You could argue from there, but I would think you would take just best player available at 5.
I mean, there's so many needs,
Like,
it doesn't matter. It's just like who's
Right, but
who's here.
how
We'll take him.
how funny would it be though if they ended up trading him and then took Tua? Like then you could justify taking Tua top
Right.
5 because it's like,
And
well, we
the-
got more picks,
And then we laugh at all the people who put those billboards up.
and all the people that made the customized jerseys, and this entire food tour that's going on in Ohio when he ends up in Florida.
You know what Jeff Ruby would do if Joe Burrow didn't come to Cincinnati? He'd be like, I'm blocking you on Twitter, Joe Burrow.
and I'm charging the full price for that steak, $62. There's no more $9.
That
going to
$9
charity.
donation, screw them kids or
Right.
whatever.
Those kids suffer because of you, Joe.
So what's more likely? They obviously go with the easy pick at Joe Burrow, or they trade?
They're going to trade, but they will blow the trade. No, that's because that's Mike Brown.
And then Joe Burrow flourishes.
No.
Like, basically, they're going to go. Mike Brown is all excited because Miami wants it, and he's going to go, all right, we're going to flip 1 and 5. And Miami's like, okay. And he's like, okay, we're done, right?
The
They're-
problem with that logic is the
Cool.
Bengals never trade, like back, forward, anything.
That's true.
They like literally always stand pat because they don't know anything. So they're like looking at Kuiper's mock and they're like, all right, who's up for us? All right, I guess this is who Kuiper's got next. We're just gonna take him. And I just think that for this,
Kuiper's got. That's amazing visual of the Bengals war room is just them refreshing Twitter.
Yeah,
to see
not even. They're like, who's got that insider subscription? Who paid for that insider subscription so we can see the rest of his mock?
Yeah. Who's got the ESPN Plus so we can see that? Plus Schefter's tweet and Ravel to see
Yeah.
what they think's a good haul.
Yeah. Like, they're literally just going off because they don't have a scouting department, so they're just going off what the talking heads say. So they definitely, and it's not even Mike Brown who's like, oh yeah, just it's like, okay, who in the building has a ESPN Plus so we can see the rest of the. It says it's an insider article. I can't see who we're supposed to draft.
Guys, it cuts off right before it says their name. I don't know, but gotta
But no,
log in.
Here's why.
Clickbait.
And here's why I don't think they're going to do it again, because it'll be a money thing. If Joe Burrow, like, I would think that the trade would be much more likely if Joe Burrow wasn't a local kid, if he hadn't gone to Ohio State, like all of these things. It's all going to be about jersey sales. Like they're like, yeah, we really hope the best for Joe Burrow and we think he'll be great, but also he's a local kid and we'll push jerseys out the door. Like it's.
That's
Like
true.
it's a money thing for them. So like literally the Dolphins would have to be like, we'll give you all 3 first-round picks, both seconds, and both first next year. Like that would be the only way they'd be like, okay, sure.
No, they would be like, at Adam Schefter.
Is this a good trade?
Should this be a thing we
No,
do?
they didn't even do it to Adam Schefter. They'd be like, Matthew Berry. What do you think about this fantasy deal?
They would tweeted a fake Adam Schefter account. Mike Brown duped by the
was like-
internet.
At not Mike Brown's burner account. What do you think about this deal? Hurry up, we've only got 5
They're
minutes.
tweeting at the Black Adam Schefter account. I just wondering. All right, let's talk some
Good stuff,
Let's
man.
talk some UC basketball. Because
They
sure.
played.
So UC, since our last airing, they went 1-1. They lost to Memphis. That ended up being a really good game because when I turned that on, they were getting blown out. I feel like they were down by like 20 at one point, and they closed the gap, really made that a game. It was so hard to concentrate because Memphis's floor is ugly as sin. Ugh. Have you seen Memphis's court?
Well,
It is.
have they changed it this year versus?
It's like blue. It's that Memphis blue. The whole court is like
Oh,
blue,
then no, I
except
have
for.
not seen it.
So it's like the court is blue, the
Yeah,
key is
no,
blue,
that-
but
I
then like
missed
the inside the arc is with the wood color.
So the actual paint isn't painted.
No, the paint is painted, but inside the 3-point arc
okay,
is
I
what.
see. Wow.
It is,
Eee.
dude. It is
No,
so hard to focus
Did they
on
switch
that.
that for this year? Because
I think
have
that was
not-
this year.
Yeah, then I have not seen that. I was gonna say because I thought it was an eyesore before when they just had the giant
Nope.
tiger.
It looks like
popping out
you're
of the end.
swimming. It looks like they were
Oof.
just swimming in the.
Yeah,
the
that's
court.
not good.
But UC ends up losing that game. It ended up being an 11-point loss. But again, they were down by, I feel like, 20 at one point and closed the gap and made it close. It looked like they were going to come back and win it. Lost that one. Then they would go on and beat East Carolina. So UC just plugging
They beat
along
Temple
here.
tonight. Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say,
there
it's
you
like, 'cause
go.
that was, they did have the game tonight, so they beat Temple 89-82. So, again, doing what they need to do in their conference. Problem is, it's going to be this is going to be one of those conferences where they're probably only going to get one. Maybe two. And unless they win the tournament, they're probably going to be on the outside looking in. Like,
Yeah,
I can't see them getting in, just middling along.
I feel like the
this.
American could have been a 2-team conference if that kid from Memphis didn't leave after the whole suspension thing, and like they could have been if somebody else had won the tournament. It would have been Memphis and whoever won the tournament, or just Memphis. But now that like Memphis is kind of struggling and falling off,
Well, I think
it's pretty much going to be
might
whoever
still
wins
be-
the American.
I was gonna say still think it might be two because I think maybe Memphis and Houston, but that's max. Like, and then again, unless somebody and one of those two teams doesn't win the big, not the Big East, but the American, but whoever wins, it'll be whoever wins, and if it's not Memphis, them. Like, so that's where I get two. It's just whoever wins the tournament, and then Memphis.
Have things calmed down between Cumberland and the coach? Like, are they still kind of at it? I feel like
I think so. I think it's just one of those working relationships where it's just like you're not gonna hear anything
because like
unless things go.
Cumberland's
really
putting
bad.
up his numbers, like he's getting his points, and
They're
he's
probably just tolerating each other at this point. Would be my
it's
guess.
like,
'Cause-
bro, we just got to get through March.
right, and I was gonna say it's just
You
like
never see me again.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just kind of
There you go,
simmering
Cumberland-
in there, but I would imagine that they're just getting along, just to get along. Like it's not like they're not friends.
They had this sit down where it was like, look, you don't like me, I don't like you.
right.
We just need to
gotta
win
do
some
this,
games.
and then I'm leaving. Yeah, it's because it's like we haven't heard anything one way or the other, so that's why I imagine it's just
It's just
at an impasse.
killing the story. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. UC continuing to plug along. On the other side of basketball in Cincinnati, Xavier just keeps on struggling. Got a W tonight.
Yeah,
Gotta win tonight.
beat Georgetown.
That's
Which
good.
once upon a time would have been a better win, but then Georgetown lost those two guys early in the year, and they're kind of in the same boat like UC, where it was like they came into the year with expectations and then they quickly fell off because
Here's what sucks as a Xavier fan. Like we talked about how UC is doing well after the shootout. Xavier kind of tanked. Dayton is number 7 in the country. Dayton is up to 7.
yeah.
That gets me so mad. That makes me more mad than Xavier losing games is the fact that Dayton is in the top 10.
It's true. It is annoying.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. So Xavier now has to play at Creighton. What is that? That's coming up here on the 26th.
which they already lost to Creighton, so at home. So I can't imagine that one.
And
goes
Creighton
much
has
better.
always been, even back in the A10 days, that was always a
Right.
place that whenever they went to Omaha, they would always lose. And,
Yep.
Like they could not win in Creighton. So I feel like it's definitely going to happen again. Oh, there you go. Tandy with a career night tonight. Season high 18 points. That kid's been that kid's starting to really come into his own. Like this is what, when they signed him, this is what I was hoping to see from the start. It was
Sure.
a little slow going and catching
Well, I
up
think
to
that's
everything.
just been the whole thing with Xavier is that there's been these expectations. I mean, obviously they came into the year ranked, so people thought that on paper this team should be one of the best 25 teams in the country. But nothing's gone as hoped for. You know, Gooden's struggled to regain his form. The freshmen have struggled out of the gate. It's mostly been Najee Marshall carrying everything, but if he has an off night, it's a complete disaster of a show. Like, it's just, and then somebody else will go off, and it's just been a mixed bag, like across the board, where nothing seems to go right with any consistency, except for them being discombobulated.
So Elite 8 style, like basically Xavier Elite 8 style team, where it's just
Right,
all
yeah,
season
so we
long
don't
of
know.
frustrating. Like, oh, they're not even gonna make it.
Right, and then they'll run to the Big East tournament unexpectedly, and then somehow make the Elite Eight. And
Right.
Where did any
What
of
the
this
hell
come from?
happened here? Who are
Couldn't
these
play for the
guys?
first 6 months of the year, and then turn it on for 3 weeks.
Because when you're the 1 seed, you get knocked out the first weekend. Because that's just how it goes as a Xavier basketball fan.
What's that? Highest seed in school history, and we lost.
It's just that sound.
What?
And
Right.
they're gone.
What's that? We've barely made it in off of the strength of getting in the tournament. Cool. Deep run.
Typical Xavier basketball.
But you know, it's funny. It wouldn't even be like. Could you be that shocked if that
What was
happened?
that?
Apparently, the volume on my phone was up, and my wife is trying to call me. It wouldn't be that shocking though from a team that was ranked again to start the season
What
for
was
them to
that-
run
what
through
was
the
that
tournament.
ringtone?
It was Outcast.
Oh, it was just so quick. I didn't. You were very quick to silence it, and I was very.
I
confused.
just didn't want to think. No, it's Outcast.
Okay, all right. I was gonna have you play the ringtone, but if it's Outcast, then it's good. We're good.
You were gonna have to play it was of something embarrassing. but
Yeah,
since
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Outcast, you're
Yeah,
like,
since it's
never mind."
embarrassing. Yeah, since it's Outcast, I'm like, all right, it's cool. But like,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it's
that was.
Outcast. It's Spodioti, man. Come on.
I couldn't tell. It was just so fast. You were so
It's
quick.
the
to
it's the
silence.
interlude. Yeah. It's the instrumentals on Spodioti.
All right, I gotta ask. Y'all want to talk some Frontier League baseball? Because Scott has feelings. Let's talk the Florence formerly Freedom. Now known, they officially rebranded this week. They are now the Florence Y'alls.
Thank you, Joe.
It was announced, so they ran a contest online. They asked for inputs. They got 22,000 or 2,200 responses as to what the team should be renamed. They narrowed the list down, put it out to a vote. They said the only requirements were it had to be like something related to Florence, and it had to honor the values of the area. So no Bodie McBoat faces, basically, is what they were saying. And based on all the responses that came in, they realized the trend that everybody was submitting y'all as an option. So they put that in there, and it came up with tons of votes. I want to say it was like 70% of the votes that were cast on this went to the y'alls. So we officially now have the Florence Y'alls.
Just so tucky. Not even Kentucky. It is so tucky. I told my wife, who's from Kentucky, last night, I'm like, get your state. Get your state. The Florence Y'alls. It's so quintessential Kentucky. I feel like nowhere else would they do something so ridiculous.
Nowhere else would they put Florence Y'all on a water tower.
Right.
Because they can't advertise for the mall or whatever. Like
Right.
the story
the story
goes
behind the fact that the water tower exists is ridiculous on its face.
right. Yeah, and if you don't know the story behind it, essentially the rumor goes that they put up the water tower, they put up Florence Mall. The mall hadn't even been built yet. They wrote Florence Mall on
And the
it.
water tower is like right.
It's next
next
to
to
the
the
mall,
mall,
and
so-
supposedly they said you can't advertise. It's free advertising for the mall. You can't advertise on the water tower. So to save money, they didn't want to change it all, so they just changed the M to the Y apostrophe, and that's how we got the Florence Y'all water tower.
I'll never forget the first time I drove down 71 and saw that. And was like, "What in the hell is that? Why does that water tower say y'all? Florence Y'all."
Joe is looking right now on the Frontier League website. It has not been changed on the Frontier League website. So you had a theory that this was like typical April Fool's Day type thing, where it was like, let's just throw this out there and see what happens. People love it. Okay, let's do it.
No, not that. Well, I guess that's the whole thing. But my theory was that they all along were going to do this.
Oh, and they just threw it out.
It was a
and
sham of a thing, and it was
rigged
like,
the voting.
right,
Oh.
like they were always going to be the
We got some
y'alls, but they're
hanging
like,
chads.
hey, look, yeah, it's like here are your options, but they always were going to do this.
Okay, so not only do you not like the name, but you didn't even like the team colors.
I don't like. Yeah, they're all Dixie, and here's the real problem is, it's the exact same color scheme as my high school. So I see it and I'm like, why is it the Bowser Rebels colors? Why? What is happening?
Well, the reason why they put out on Twitter the branding behind the name
Y'all
or the
can
color
ball.
scheme, they took a picture of the water tower
Oh,
and they said
God.
that the water tower is red and white, obviously,
And the sky
and
was
the
blue.
sky was sky blue. So that is why their colors are red, white, and sky blue.
was also, I said it was a quintessential Kentucky thing because it was like, whoa, look, we got rid of Bevin. We got a Democrat in here. That's way too far left. We've got to do something to tip the scales back in our favor. What would be the most hillbilly ass Kentucky thing we could do? All right, y'alls. All right, this is getting it right back to getting back to our roots as being a red state. We can't go too far over there, so we'll do this one thing, but we're gonna make up for it.
They are the other meaning behind it is they are saying this isn't our team, this is y'all's team. Get behind us. The whole thing looks like it's kind of in the state of Kentucky shape. They have an homage to the freedom with the star in the y'all. It's basically this was what I was telling you about beforehand. This is
United We Ball. What is happening in there?
United We Ball forever with y'all.
Are they touching tips? Like, what is going on in that photo?
They're shaking hands.
They're shaking hands.
Cool.
An umpire and a player are shaking hands.
That's what those are. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but this is
My other rant was, so imagine you're struggling.
hashtag go y'alls.
You're,
Can you do an apostrophe and a hashtag? That doesn't work,
no,
right?
You can't.
That's
yeah,
bad.
Of course,
you
I
gotta,
don't know that. That's Kentucky. They're like Twitter. What? That's
Y'alls.
that new thing. Let's create a hashtag. My other rant was that imagine you're a struggling baseball player. You're trying to live the dream, but obviously you got to have a day job. Agent calls you up. It's like, all right, this is probably it. Let's go. I got a call from the y'alls. Nope, I'm out. Like, that's it. You know what? Dream is over. I'm just gonna stay here bagging groceries. If it means I have to wear y'alls across my chest, then this baseball thing just wasn't meant to be. I'm done. That's where I would hang it up.
I'm on board.
I love it.
I'm
I
a
hate
big
it.
fan.
I love it.
I want all of the y'all's gear.
I love it.
I am on
Would
board.
refuse to
Also,
play.
their state. It's a really fun time to go see those games.
Well, that's the thing. I've been to
Very small crowd.
many Florence Freedom games. It's
The only thing
fun.
I don't like about it is they have that the bouncy houses out in left field. So they have like a big inflatable slide and like a big. We took my 3-year-old before he was like a year and a half when we went, and that's all he wanted to do. And I was like, "Let's go watch baseball," and he was like, "No, I want to go jump." And I was like,
Oh yeah, I mean that's
they're broken.
kids.
They're broken. Don't put bouncy houses out there, man. Let me brainwash my kid to make him
Right.
think baseball's kind of cool.
Do you guys know the other team names in their
I
their
don't.
league?
I don't. Can you hit? Because we love minor league team names
Oh,
on this
absolutely.
show. There's
How about the Lake Erie Crushers? And it's a bunch of grapes for the wine that gets made in
Better than
Lake
y'all's.
Erie.
Better than y'all's.
is a good mascot with a.
The
The
angry
New
grape.
Jersey Jackals. You know, the fox, the jackal.
Yeah.
How about the New York Boulders?
Is it? Are they just? Is it just a rock? Or they just have a rock as
It's
their?
a bee,
It's just a bee with.
a baseball.
That's
and
it.
Y'all's is better. Y'all's is better than Boulders.
You got the Quebec Capitals, spelled with the E.
E.
Sioux County Miners.
It's funny because I would have been like the
I
Sussex
think
County.
that's yeah. I almost corrected him and said Sussex.
Can't spell Sussex without sex.
The Schaumburg.
Schaumburg Boomers.
Where's
Oh
Schaum-
man! Wait a second. Is their mascot just an old dude like yelling about millennials?
I mean, okay, that would be the hands down best. Just an angry grandpa with a fist would be the logo.
Kids these days.
Schaumburg,
that.
Illinois.
That's
you
in Illinois,
kids,
huh?
you should work a job to get through college. That's what we did in my day.
Everything handed to you.
I think, I gotta be honest, I think the Y'alls has the best name in the league.
No.
The Lake Erie Crushers.
I was
is a
gonna say
close
I'm
second.
going with the Crushers. Like
Only
that,
because it's an angry grape.
the
That's
angry
a pretty.
grape makes
That's a
it
pretty good
wins.
logo.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They need to
Washington Wild Things. That's a bad logo though.
They
for
need to
that.
rebrand real quick.
I like the name. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good to
I
be the
just don't
Washington
like-
Wild Things.
I don't like that
Terrible logo.
logo.
Terrible mascot.
Looks like somebody did that in clip art.
Yeah, that was like a
they
90s.
did.
That's a
did.
90s
We're
like
talking,
Fox.
we're talking independent league. Yes,
Yeah,
this
that's fair.
100% was a clip art post. Somebody whipped that up in PowerPoint, and then we're like, this should be good, right? All right, let's go from one minor league team to another. Scott, if you are ready, I would ask you
Bring it on.
to do that hockey.
That was perfect. That was absolutely on brand with us talking hockey. That is fantastic that we got Marty to introduce.
Best thing that's happened on Cincinnati Style since we started doing the show, 16 episodes ago, 17 episodes ago?
Well, we passed up Marvel Weekend. Marvel Weekend was a big hit. Fan of the show, Tyson took his daughters to Marvel Weekend. Sent me pictures. He's like, "Check out these jerseys. We're here at Marvel."
They were Spider-Man
Like,
jerseys, right?
Yes.
That's amazing.
And the away team, I believe, was wearing Venom jerseys.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, no, good stuff, man. But they won the second two of Marvel Weekend because this is one of those weird things. We talked about this.
Bring
on
in
the
a
show
second team for the third game.
before. Right? Yeah, they play 3 in a row, which they rarely do throughout the entire
Oh,
season.
somebody was wearing Captain
But they played
America jerseys.
Two different. Oh yeah, they played 2 different. Nice Captain America jerseys. The different one. They played 2 different teams on this
Kind of
3-game
weird
stretch.
Yeah.
A weird setup. But anyway, awesome that they did that. I was a little salty that didn't get to go. I had stuff going on last weekend, so would have liked to have taken the kid. They would have loved the Spider-Man.
This would have been a good
jerseys.
weekend to go to.
Right. But anyway, they won 2 of the 3 games, and they are now 25-10-6 on the season. Still cannot pronounce the goalie's name, but that's no shocker there. So, where we're at with that.
Got the record right.
I did. I was not fooled by the 41 of games played first this week.
What is the third number stand for?
That's the ties in after the shootout.
No.
Oh, is it ties before shootout?
There are no ties in hockey.
Oh, so then what the hell is that? I thought that was. I thought if they were tied.
Can I
after
guess?
I thought if they were tied.
It's
after
overtime
the shootout.
wins, right?
Overtime losses.
Thought it was overtime
So that's-
wins. I
so
know it was
yeah,
overtime.
that's losses
yeah, wins,
after the
losses, overtime
Why
losses.
did I think it was overtime wins? I don't know.
I thought it was if they were tied
Well, wait,
after
wait.
the shootout. That,
They go to an they go to an overtime period first,
right, and
which
then
is still
they
an
go to the
overtime
shootout.
loss in that third.
Sure, but I'm saying I thought okay, overtime's tied, and then they go to the shootout, and then if that's tied, then it's that's where that third column comes in, that's what I always thought it was.
Once you get to overtime, that's when you get into the third column. If you lose, if you win, it goes in the first one.
Gotcha. Okay, well there you go. The more you know. Rainbow just shot over my head.
This is why, guys, this is what I'm saying.
This is why you come
break
to us.
down this hockey. We just told you what the third number means in the record, and only one of us knew it.
More disappointing is that we're running out of really sweet promos. There's just not much going on the rest of the season. By the way,
Dollar
on
beer is
promo.
always a good
I was gonna say
promo.
Wednesday night dollar beer night is always coming through, but yeah, as far as the cool themed,
Do you think we could get anybody from the Cyclones to come in on this show? Come hang out?
probably
I feel like that's a guest we could get.
we could fool them into thinking that we know about hockey, and then they get on and be like, "You guys are awful."
It could just be us asking, okay, the third number in your record, what does that mean? Also, how cool are your Spider-Man jerseys? Okay, thanks for stopping by. See ya.
Can you tell us about promos you have coming for next season? We realize that the schedule isn't very promo friendly the rest of the way, but what about a look ahead to next year? What are you thinking about? They do have Ninja Turtle Night coming up because they've got the Nickelodeon weekend, so there's that. I mean,
That'd be a good one.
yeah. I could take the kids.
Uh-oh, Paw Patrol Day
Ooh.
and a Sunday matinee game. Wait, there's a Cincinnati Beast Night? What is this? This is something you got to circle, Scott. We're going to need
Kings
you to get it.
Island.
It's the 40th anniversary of the Beast. Jerseys based on the Beast.
Huh,
All right,
wow.
you're over here
I missed that
slow
one.
playing us. Oh, there's not really good promos.
I missed that one
coming up.
because I saw Ninja Turtles and I'm like, all right, that's it. That's all I care about the rest of the year. I missed that there was a Beast promo night.
All right, next question. How do we get the Cyclones to do a craft brewed sports night where they wear our logo on their jersey and then auction them off afterwards?
Money.
Oh, well. That's gonna
Well,
be
we're
disappointing. But you can help us out by going to More Labs and using the code SPORTS to get 20% off your order. Or go to dugoutmugs.online/craft to get 10% off your order. All of that will go to help the show, where we can give money to the Cyclones to make them wear Craft Brewed Sports jerseys.
Or you can go to our shop, buy some of our gear.
Boom. And then you could wear Craft Brewed Sports jersey.
Much cheaper than us trying to convince the team to sponsor our night.
craftbrewedsports.com. Click on the shop link. All kinds of cool stuff there. Baseball, 3/4 sleeve shirts,
Maybe we should
hoodies.
petition them to put hockey jerseys on there. Get a better response.
Good idea.
All this baseball stuff.
I think
That's
we
been
could
that
get-
hockey.
I think that was
That
that might have been your weakest doing that hockey yet. You are scraping.
Stop being
the,
informed.
I know. The segment's much
It's
funnier when
so
I come
much
in and
better.
screw
Right.
everything up.
You are ruining what this was. This was supposed to be you fumbling through this. Instead, you've enlisted outside help where you get like, the celly on the flipper.
I couldn't tell you a single thing that I got from JB on that, though. He
know.
sent me all those, and I didn't even know what they were. They have a black assistant coach. Wow.
Very progressive over
Coach
there.
Payne.
That's a damn good hockey coach
It
name.
is.
Coach Payne
Coach Payne don't want to hear none of your shit.
is like, Coach, I'm a little sore. I'm Coach Payne. Of course you're sore. I don't know why he talks like Mr. T, but I feel like he does.
That's racist.
No, it's just that's the character.
I know, but you're just like, first black person that pops in my head. Mr. T.
What, that is not. How is that?
Isn't
the
that
first?
how Major Payne kind of talked too? I think that's
No, didn't he have a lisp? Major Payne had a lisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't pity the fool.
He didn't pity the fool.
You pity the fool.
Pithy the fool. Drink responsibly.
Guys, this has been a show. We did
Something,
this thing.
y'all.
Y'all, do you want us to even continue these Cincinnati style shows? Like, just let us know. Tweet at us at Craft Free Sports. Tell us.
Y'all
Like-
kill that.
Like, y'all, I love it. I love you. I love y'all talking Cincinnati sports. Or be like, nah, y'all can just.
Y'all suck.
Comment down below in the comment section. Make sure you ring that bell. Subscribe.
Ring that bell.
Did I get all the standard boilerplate lingo in there?
I think that's pretty much every YouTube video I've ever seen.
Click like.
Give us the thumbs up.
You
click
got to
the
do
like
this
button,
too. You got to look right in the camera and be like, click below
hit the subscribe button.
every single time.
Leave
Or
a
it's-
comment if you think we're good. Tell us what you think
Hit
about the
that
Florence
thumbs up
Y'alls.
Comment if you don't think we're good. It doesn't matter. Just do something.
Please,
Tell
please
tell
just
us.
comment.
I was gonna say, tell us you're listening. Somebody
Let us know we're not
respond.
alone.
It's just us. We're basically just when you first start up your Twitter account and you have like 2
Are you just
followers.
yelling at clouds?
You're just like, these are my thoughts. And, like you stumble upon
Nobody
them years
notices.
later, and people are like, "What the hell was this?" Oh yeah, I was just figuring it all out. I don't know, man. That's how I feel about our Cincinnati style show. It's just us like,
Us talking to nobody. Not a single person hears it.
somebody love me, please.
And this one belongs to the Reds.
Good, real good.
This has been another episode of Craft Fruit Sports Cincinnati style. I think we're finding our groove here,
That was
fellas.
my favorite thing that's
Just-
ever happened on this show.
the
Let's
whole-
talk hockey.
The,
Here comes Marty.
the whole thing just needs to be off the rails for the entire show. This is our wheelhouse, guys. Not this whole informed talk. Hey, let's break down what happened. No, shit show. That's what we need. Be sure to follow us between the show at Craft Beat Sports. You can follow Scott at ScottyK_Jr. Follow me at Mike Burlow. Follow Joe at Joe Goalie 4. Hit up our drunk line 440-37-DRUNK. Subscribe, rate, review wherever you listen to podcasts. Hit us up on Instagram. We're on that too at Craft Beat Sports. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Cheers, everybody.
Goodbye.